All right, let's bring in our guest. He's an Oscar winner and hands down the coolest professor at the University of Texas. His New York Times bestselling book, Green Lights, comes out in paperback November 12th. Here he is. Wow, this show just got a tiny bit sexier because the great Matthew McConaughey is with us. What's happening, Matthew?
Hey, I just got back from class at the University of Texas. I just had a 3-hour session this morning. So I'm out of class. I passed. Now I'm here with you. We good.
You did. Nice. Excellent. And that's going good, huh? Did you ever think you'd be a professor after all these years?
Yeah. Oh man, I think I always liked the idea of teaching, but this was just something since I've been acting for 35 years.
Yeah.
After 25 of those years, I was like, damn, the final picture that's on the screen in the theater is very different from the original script I read of every movie I've ever done. So I said,
Right.
what's the class I wish I would have been taught? Is that, hey, it's different. There's a process for the script goes through to make it to screen. Things happen, things get cut, things get added. What if I taught a class on that? And that's what I'm doing.
I love it. Now, I want to get to your book and Texas football and your tequila and everything else, but I do want to ask you about Halloween. What is it like at the McConaughey house? Are you giving out candy? Do you dress up? Is it understated?
Yeah, I try to get away. I think I try to get away with it being understated, but my daughter doesn't allow it. It's
Uh,
her favorite holiday. We were a little tardy in getting the stuff outside to scare the trick or treaters up, but it's up.
hmm.
They're all ghosts hanging from the trees. The skeletons are nailed to the trees, et cetera, et cetera. Um, Look, we won't do an open. Honestly, we won't do an open trick or treat at our house just because for some privacy and security reasons.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll go trick or treating.
What about you growing up? Were you more of a, do you remember any of your costumes? Were you more of like a Shazam guy or
I was
did
an
everyone
Incredible
in the
Hulk guy.
neighborhood do Earl Campbell? What's
I was
that?
Incredible Hulk. I was Kristen
Uh,
Berger. I was John Riggins. But Incredible Hulk seemed to be my go-to. He was always my
yeah.
favorite superhero. Plus, if you're East Texas, October 31st, it's not that cold. It's still hot, so you can get away with a pair of cutoff shorts and paint yourself green and not be too cold.
I love it. Of course. Of course, that's the go-to. All right. Now, this is, we talk sports betting a lot on this show. And one of my favorite Matthew McConaughey movies is Two for the Money,
Two for the
you and
money.
Rene Russo. That was a fun time, right? Al Pacino. Al Pacino plays this, like this handicapping legend. He's a tout. And you also are known, he takes you under his wing, but you know how to pick games until you don't know how to pick games. And then there's like a twist at the end. I'm not going to give it away. But
What's
what
what?
did you? I'm interested to know how much you got the lingo down exactly. I rewatched it the other night. What did you do to research this role?
um, Listen to a lot of so-called pro pickers that actually, obviously they know it. That's the
Yeah,
whole game. And what they knew and what they know. My brother had a great tout service. My brother, check this out. My brother Pat had a
yeah.
tout service he went 27-0 over 4 weekends. And so we
Wow.
were all jumping on his bandwagon, right? And of
Yeah.
course, this guy, they get the diamond pick this weekend. It's a little unknown college football game. You got the Boston College, and they're playing somebody like Bowling Green or somebody, like one of those games that's not even on the network, not even on
Right.
TV. You have to find it. And it was the diamond pick. I know somebody was getting Boston College was good like 18 or something. This guy was the lead pipe cinch. And Pat, I'm telling you, all the money I've made for you so far, we're gonna load it all up on this one because this one's the lead pipe cinch. Of course, that 18-point favorite, I think Boston College was, they got beat outright, and I lost it all. But just, I mean, you hear everything from the, which dog bowl does the dog go to, which isn't as fun as actually having reasons to know it, which
Right.
as a gamer, man, when we know it, we have a some little detail or a few details that we're like, this is what no one else is thinking about. This is what's going to matter. For me, I love the intangibles. The East Coast, West Coast travel, the jet lag
Mhm.
time, the Brett Favre on Monday Night Football the weekend after his father moved on. He's going to be playing for more than the game. Da, da, da,
Mhm.
da. When someone has a newborn, a star player has a newborn, you can expect a great game from them because now they're
Right.
looking for more as well. So, then you got something like Jameis Winston comes in for the Browns.
For the
Got
Browns,
the
sure.
Browns. Deshaun's the man. We've got all this money. He's out. Jameis Winston. Oh, is that where he was? Was he over there in Cleveland? Didn't even know he was in the 2 hole there. Comes on, nothing to lose. Let's go, and goes out and wins it. Um,
Yeah.
those intangibles are what's fun to know. So, I mean, I listened to a lot of guys who knew it, but if they knew it, they probably wouldn't have been working the day job that they were working in at the time I talked to them.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And it's funny. I wish I had your brother's tout at the time, because I had all these. I got on a sucker list, and they would call me, and I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm going to eat now." They're like, "Oh, are you eating lobster? Because you will eat lobster if you listen to my 5-star lock." Because they always had something stupid too. There's the intangibles that you talk about, but then there's like, listen, the whole team got food poisoning eating clam chowder. They're keeping it under wraps, but Rutgers is the pick this week. And then, of course,
bet the house on it.
Yes, exactly.
Love it.
I just
isn't that it? When we're right, and when they're right, they're genius. And you didn't bet enough on it, even though you leveraged the whole house. You could have bet more.
What's the biggest bet you made? Do you remember?
Biggest bet I've ever made?
Yeah,
$5,000.
$5,000. You remember? Was it a winner or a loser?
It was a victory.
Okay, good.
It was a victory. Yeah, I was.
See, it's funny. I asked that question, and most of the time people would say, I said $5,000. You said, did it win or lose? If you said win, it's surprising that you didn't up the stakes. I could see people learning a lesson. Oh, 5,000, I lost. I'll never do it again. But you went out as a winner as your top bet.
I did go out as a winner on my top bet. Look, what I do is I'll bet I bet $100 here is my dollar here, dollar there, to basically buy a ticket to the game. Basically, so I will watch that game, be more interested, more than just it being in the background. Root, talk, be interested, have a great enthusiasm, excitement for when the refs make a bad call and this thing's fixed, or if it's going my way, I knew it, and it's a hell of a lot more entertaining day. My brother and I will every couple of years go to Vegas and do a weekend where we don't bet anything that takes away our life savings, but we bet enough to get a buzz on every single game, and then we tally up our record at the end of the weekend. I don't know if you read. I had the story in Green Lights, man. We went there that second time the Cowboys faced the Bills, in the Super Bowl. And he and I had played blackjack the night before and just rolled, dominated. I mean, got out of there feeling real. Came out at sunrise. It was daylight, and we had a lot of chips in the pocket, which turned into cash. Well, that day, as that line kept going up, we just started getting infatuated with the Bills. That's something we did. And we started loading up on everything. Andre Reed, 8-1 more than Michael Irvin. Every Bruce, what's his name? Bruce, who's a defense.
Bruce Smith on defense.
Bruce Smith, MVP, 2040. We loaded up on all kinds of intangibles. Plus, we got a bloated line. And the Bills were up at halftime. Of course, we were dancing, buying doubles. And you know what happened in the next 2 quarters.
Yeah. I was, Bills were up 13-6. I'm a Cowboys fan, so I remember this well. And I had to go take a walk because I was like, where is this offense? And then did you bet on Thurman Thomas for getting his helmet at any point in the game? Because that might have paid like 35-1 or something.
No, that might have been more than that. No, I didn't.
I do want to, one of your other great movies, We Are Marshall. You played Coach Jack Langle. I'm sure you studied him. And is there any sports figure out there that you'd want to play or wish you had played back in the day?
Now, my buddy and I, Cole Hauser, who plays Rip in Yellowstone, we're working on a 2 brothers that become successful head coaches. Not really based on the Harbaugh, but similar to that. Brothers that end up coaching against each other. Script. I've always been a Redskin / Commander fan, and he's always Cole's always been a Raider fan. You've got guys like your owner of the Raiders, who's quite a character. You've got Joe Gibbs, who was such a great coach for the Redskins at the time. And GMs and head coaches are kind of a little bit more interesting, obviously, being of my age now today. How do you build a dynasty? What was it? How many dynasties are left out there? The last really successful dynasty be what? The Patriots? you
Yeah,
know?
I would think so. Yeah.
Um,
Chiefs are giving them a run now, but yeah,
Chiefs are
probably
damn
yeah.
sure giving them a run, yeah,
Yeah.
in a different way. 'Cause at the same time, they still seem to be kind of plug and play. Um,
Hmm.
but what creates I'm not ready to give up on there being any new dynasties still out there or any teams that are now can become a dynasty, a successful
Right.
dynasty. What's that
What?
coach do? What's that GM do? What's that system of business? What's that system of play? Um, and how can you sustain that long term? So GMs and coaches are what I'm more interested in playing now.
Well, the Raiders are certainly not on their way to creating a dynasty, but I would love for you to play Mark Davis, just to wear that hair for
The
three
hair's
months or
great.
whatever it would
The
take.
hair's
It would be
great.
spectacular. You are a Commanders fan, maybe close to getting in that dynasty conversation. I feel like they got the monkey off their back at least, right?
Look who's 6-2.
Yeah. How
What
exciting
was the
was that
over
Hail
under that?
Mary?
What was the over under that at the beginning of the season?
Well, I did have them to make the playoffs. I think their over under wins was like 7 or something. They're right there. Yeah, they're probably a game away from hitting their projected total. But that Hail Mary, you must have been out of your mind last week.
Good. I mean, sometimes you got the magic going. Sometimes you're good and you got the magic going. And right now we got both happening.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's a whole new there's a whole different set of belief over there in the commander system right now. And very exciting times. I had my hail hat on yesterday. Hail.
Yes, I saw that.
I had that. I've got I gave my son, and geez, he's about to outgrow it. He's 11. I gave him my it was a Redskin jacket. It was like the Letterman jacket that I had since I was 4. And it was a
Hmm.
little big then, and my son's kind of grown out of it. But I've got some old memorabilia. I was at the last game at RFK. I've got burgundy soil from the end zone. I was at the first game at Jack Kent Cook, first game at FedEx,
Wow.
and I sang the national anthem on the sidelines with John Riggins.
Oh, what
So
a
I
I
had
mean, your old Halloween costume. That's
come on, man.
yeah. Now you have to do it with the Hulk. I don't know how you're gonna figure that out, but
Hey,
a duet. That's beautiful.
wear the Redskin uni covered painted green. Not a bad look.
I love it. Hey, Terry Bradshaw came on my cousin Jimmy Kimmel's show the other day and told a story about the time you were in Failure to Launch together, right? And he told the story about how you wanted him to put a penis sock on and he wouldn't do it. Do you remember this at all, or has Terry completely lost his mind? Right. Yeah.
That he crossed the line there, and I remember him kind of almost regretting that he did it. I was like, man, the humor's good. Won't you just appreciate the humor? He was like, no, I'm in trouble, man. I'm in trouble. I can't believe I did that. They didn't ask him to put a penis on.
He went into this whole thing about how he had to try, and there were various sizes of the penis socks, and he couldn't find the right one.
Who knows what Uncle Terry's talking about?
Uncle Terry. Uncle Terry needs to lay down. All right, listen, let's talk Texas football.
Yeah.
7-1, ranked number 6. Only loss was to Georgia. I feel like you came out flat. I'm sure your eyes were glued to the TV. And then by the
I was on the
time,
sideline.
yeah, that's right. And by the time he got going, I think it was just a little too late. But are there any concerns, or is it a lot less aggravating knowing that you're almost certainly going to make the playoffs?
Look, there's got to be concerns because we didn't play up to our ability. We didn't play against how great we actually believe we can be. We knew that was going to be a hell of a tough game. They were more up to it than we were. Do I have concerns? I don't have concerns. I believe we got the right head coach in place. We got the right staff, and I believe we got a damn good team. We're very versatile. We can beat you in many different ways. Our twos, the downfall from our twos to our ones is a very small gap, not only at quarterback, but all across the field. At the same time, those ones have to still go play special and play really great games for us to get where we want to go. We will recompose. I trust Sark's got us recomposing, get the mental edge back. I think we did kind of, I'm not going to say cruise through the first 6, whatever, however many games. We won pretty handily. We kind of rolled,
Yeah.
and I think maybe the feeling was, we'll keep that rhythm going. And we came out against somebody who just punched us in the mouth right off the bat, and we needed. We weren't quite up. We weren't up to it as we needed to be.
Yeah, boy, you're right about the SEC and just there's no relief. You can't come up for water. There's no back-to-back weeks. I mean, Alabama already on the outside looking in. I said it's easy to make the playoffs. They're probably on the LSU now with a couple of losses, tough. And you guys still have to play Texas A&M, who's
We
the only
played
one
Texas A&M the last game.
undefeated in the conference right now. So yeah,
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
But
So
you've met Quinn Ewers and Arch Manning. That is a pretty good benefit that you have two outstanding quarterbacks. What can you tell me about those two?
heaven of a benefit. Heaven of a benefit.
Yeah.
I mean, look, to have a 1 and a 2 of that caliber is a luxury, and we have it.
Yeah.
And and Arch is back there. I'm sure he's pushing
Mhm.
Quinn. Quinn. Look, it's his team right now. He is the quarterback. He's a great talent. I like when he steps up because a lot of those rushes against Georgia did come from the edge. Now we
Mhm.
had a lot of rushes against Michigan that came from the edge. What Quinn did really well is he stepped up in the pocket to elude those outside rushes and made a lot of completions when he stepped up 4 steps rather than being caught in the back, which he didn't do as much against Georgia in that D line.
Right.
I'd like to see him continue to get more comfortable doing that, which he has shown that he's gotten more comfortable. I'd just like to see even more of it.
Yeah, it's definitely a pretty good problem to have. I would
Yeah.
say the two quarterbacks like that. You made news. I don't know if you meant to make news talking about that Georgia game when you were discouraging fans from throwing things on the
Yeah.
field. Was this a selfish mission you were on because you were sick and tired of getting hit in the head with a Gatorade bottle as you are often on the sidelines, or
No, I
was
was
this
I was on the far sideline, so it had nothing
okay?
to do. There's nothing about to hit my head.
Okay.
It's just look, it was as I said, BS call. Would litter the field and go bush league on something like that.
Right.
Now, what does that mean? Did the refs changing the call back, which it was the right to change the call? That is a discussion. Why did they change it? When did they decide to change it? Was it seeing the replay? You don't want to believe, and I don't believe that a narrative is, oh, well, if they make a bad call, you trash the field, they'll change it. I don't believe that, but I don't see a place for that
Yeah.
in college football. There's other leagues or places where that may be part of the game plan and part of the fan experience, but not at University of Texas. And I think we all know that. It was just everyone was caught up in the moment, got caught up in the emotion, and that's what happened.
Speaking of getting caught up in the moment, I go back and forth around the office. We talk about this. Rushing the field after a win. I used to have a rule, whether it's college basketball, college football, you got to be a double digit underdog and playing a top 5 team to do it. Otherwise, we're getting a little bit weird. Some of these favorites are running on the field. My son goes to Oregon. He did it against Ohio State. He's like, come on, Dad, I'm having fun. I'm like, yeah, but you were a 3-point underdog. I have these really weird, archaic rules. How do you feel about that?
Look, I hear you. You can't start, charging the field for every damn victory. You got it. Those have to be. They'll lose their security. They won't be as special. But look,
Right.
man, you get to an end of that Oregon game where it's that tight and it could go either way. And thankfully, as an Oregon fan, you have a Will Howard that takes 2 extra steps before he slides for the
Right.
game-winning field goal. I'm supposing your idea to rush the field is not something you're thinking about. It's something you just damn well did because you were caught up in it. So I'm like, go for it. Look, college sports, college athlete, college football. It's like I said earlier, greatest form of tribalism we got going on the earth. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
rush it, go for it, man.
Really?
Yeah, I'm for it. I think that kind of excitement, that kind of emotion, that kind of release, enjoy it. I love seeing it.
All right. You might have felt differently if you were on the field and Texas had beaten Georgia and you're clinging to the goalpost for dear life as these fans try pawing at you. But no, I get it.
I'm
I get
down.
it.
I've been down there in the middle of it at the end of some games where there was field rush.
Nice.
And I've been surrounded by the enemy's fans. And I've been surrounded by Longhorn fans, and both experiences worked for me.
You've survived. Yeah. You had a very funny commercial you do with Uber Eats with Christian McCaffrey and Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if you guys were trying to make a real point, but boy, did it hit hard. I do think the NFL is trying to make us fat. I think I'm living proof. I'm nervous about my pools and my team and my bets, and I'm taking a bite of something between every play. Did this resonate with you? You're not fat, but did this jump off at the script at you? Like, yes, we have to do this.
Look, it was just damn funny. And the creative and Uber came with some ideas, and they were allowed me to throw some of my own in there.
Nice.
It's fun to go back, and I had to do McConaughey. I had to do the "Come on, McCaffrey," and he had to throw back the "Come on, McConaughey."
Yeah.
I threw in a little bit of that. One take, I did "Man, I thought you went to Stanford," which I thought was a nice dig.
Right.
And then the refrigerator Perry kind of throwing off. Got to throw that one off the cuff. I just thought it was funny, and the 60-second ad's great. And hopefully we might even, we're talking about hopefully another creative. It'd be nice to do another one of those. But it seems like people dig it. I think it's funny as hell. McCaffrey was really good in it, and Jerry was really good in it too.
It's good. It's tough to do a funny commercial these days. There's a lot of, criticism and people are jaded, but you pulled it off for sure. Best one of the year.
I think we did. Yeah.
All right, Matthew, I've got one more question for you, and this is important. We call it Cuz's Conundrum.
Cuz's Conundrum.
You find out you have a year of eligibility. You join the Longhorns team as a fifth-string receiver. There are some injuries, so you get a chance to play, and Quinn Ewers throws you the game-winning pass in the national title game. Do you take that deal if it means for the rest of your life you have to wake up to Boomer Sooner, the Oklahoma fight song, as your alarm?
Hell yeah, I can deal with a little bit of ear noise and ear crap for making the winning catch from Quinn in the end zone with the national championship. I think I can put up with that easy.
Okay. I mean, you don't like the song, right? You must.
No,
have
I don't like the song,
reaction.
but I'd find some other jig to it, and hell, I'd make new lyrics to it in Spanish or something.
You'd sing it from bed? All right.
Yeah.
In Spanish.
I'll turn that around. Actually, yeah, what I'll do is I'll hook it up to my TV. So every time my alarm goes off, that play replays on the TV, so I can look at that and go, worth putting up with, isn't it?
Wow. Look at that. What you're like an entrepreneur. I hadn't even thought of that. Wow. You made it very, very easy on yourself. Matthew, thanks a lot. You could get Matthew McConaughey's book, Green Lights, in paperback November 12th. And, of course, grab a bottle of his delicious Pantalones tequila. Hey, if Texas wins a national championship, you'll come back with a tequila shot or 3 with us, right?
No, come back with a bottle.
There you go.